The spring this year has been absolutely amazing. I just wanted to share my beautiful magnolia blossoms with you as they are around for such a short time. I've had a very fun delivery today. We've got a box with a fire pit in it. So you might remember that I made a video where I bought some marshmallows for Easter, and I thought how cool would it be to have a fire pit again and to toast some marshmallows on a fire pit. So that led to me thinking, right, I need to get a fire pit, and that led to me buying a fire pit. So a pack of £1 marshmallows led to me buying a fire pit. That's I think that's what some people call blonde girl maths, maybe. Bit derogatory in it, blonde girl maths. It says don't use scissors, so I'm trying not to use scissors or sharp objects. Hey, she got it open, or part way open. Ready? Very excited about this. Ooh. Ooh, that looks posh. It wasn't actually that expensive, and I did buy it on Klarna. It was £62, £63. But it's also a little barbecue as well, and we don't actually, well, we do have a barbecue, but the barbecue that we've got is, it's a gas barbecue. It's a little gas barbecue, and so, yeah, I thought to have an actual barbecue that we can use with fire, like wood or what's it called? Charcoal fire would be good. Oop. And we are going to put this together. Look at that. Ooh, a big resiny kind of thing. Let's read the instructions first. Warnings, cleaning. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Put some feet on. Yeah. Easy. Cute is that? It's on the table at the moment, obviously, but yeah, it looks like stone, doesn't it? And it's got a lid and a little grill to barbecue on, and then in the bottom there's another grill box. You put your fire on top of that, and that makes sure there's air through your fire. Collects ash under it, and usually we get or we have done in the past, we've got fire pits and they have gone a bit rusty and cronky, so hopefully we'll look after this one and clean it out. And it's made of some kind of magnesium oxide apparently, or something like that, but it actually looks like fiberglass to me, but I don't know. Anyway, lovely. Can't wait to use it. I've come inside now because I've got something else exciting. Well, exciting for me. It's a planter, but it's like the height of a table. So hopefully I'm going to be planting like spinach and leafy stuff, because we've got a dog, and if you plant anything low down, he'll cock his leg against it and wee on it. So that's not very nice. So yeah. So we got like a wooden, well, it's called a wooden elevated planter. It was £39 and it was from George at Asda. And I'm not expecting it to be great quality because it was cheap, but also I paid for next day delivery from them, and they said, oh, you'll get it on whatever day, the 10th. And it didn't turn up till later on in the afternoon on the 11th today. So Asda, I live right by an Asda, and they've never got any food. I'm going to moan about Asda now. They've never got any food that I want. And once when I tried to do an Asda delivery for like a big shop, they basically didn't deliver it to me. Told me it was my fault that my card was declined. My card wasn't declined. They just didn't bother doing the order. So yeah, Asda, I'm never happy with Asda. But I did buy a planter from George at Asda, had to have it delivered to me and not to the store, which is what I would normally do. And let's open it up now and then put it together. Smells woody. Smells of the outside. Let's have a look. What have we got? We've got some instructions, which we better check we've got all the right places, haven't we? Very sensible of me. There should be 2 of those. 1, 2. There should be 1. Screws, which I'm sure is roughly right. If not, I've got some screws anyway, so that'll be fine. Right, this looks fun, doesn't it? I don't like using a, what's it called? An electric screwdriver, because I feel like the screws always go in wonky or always get burred, like where the shape of the screw top gets worn because of the electric screwdriver. So these have got screw holes through here but not into the wood there, but I think it will be okay. I think it's going to be tricky without any guide holes there. That bit of wood's a bit buggered. Screwing in screws by hand keeps you healthy. Right, what's next? Legs, I think. Things are on the wrong way. That's my vegetable truck, should we call it? I think that's probably the nearest of what it is, or wooden elevated planter, which is what's on the box. It's got drainage holes in the board, but I've got to line it with something, some kind of, I've actually got some plastic, what have I got? I forget what it's called. What's it called? Plastic, the outdoor plastic stuff. Oh God. Anyway, I've got some plastic to line it with. Now we just got to do that and put it outside. Okay, so it's the next morning and I'd already been out to make sure that my planter is going to be level when standing on the ground. So I did this by popping some broken paving slabs into the ground and then covering that with black bark, so it just looks like it's standing on the bark nice and evenly, so it doesn't like fall over, or water doesn't run more to one end or the other end. And I've poked some holes through the tarpaulin, which I just like pushed in, poked some holes through the tarpaulin and where the drainage holes are, and now obviously I'm filling it with compost. I forgot to record planting these seedlings that I planted. I bought these, I think, for a couple of £2, and there's 6 maybe radish plants there, and radishes grow super quickly, so they will be my first crop. And you can see I've also got there, where I'm planting the seeds, is that's some spinach that I'm doing on that side. I've also got kale and lettuce. Fingers crossed that they grow. I have to admit, I am rather a haphazard gardener and like to completely ignore the instructions on the seed packet, so things don't get thinned out, things don't get planted in nice rows, things probably don't get spaced out correctly, but my theory is if you're a plant, your one job is basically to grow, so if you don't, then that's your tough luck, and I'm not going to spend time crying over that. Fun fact, I painted my front door from white to green and I used just like a Johnston's garden paint that's meant to be for fences. That's just in case you do like my front door colour. Yeah, now it's time to weed. I've been trying really hard to keep on top of weeding this year because I get bindweed in my garden, which wraps around any new plants that I want to grow. And I don't really want bindweed. Usually I try and leave my weeds so that insects and all those kind of things can live in them. And then sometimes I'm not sure if the thing that's growing is a weed or is a plant that I've planted or some seeds that I've planted. But at the moment I'm just like, nope, if I don't know what it is, it's basically coming out of the ground, because I'm not here for that weed life. That's not me. How beautiful is this bleeding heart flower? I've had it for a couple of years, and it's doing really well. And then there's some strawberry flowers. The strawberries are doing amazing now. I didn't take any video of them, but they are being eaten away by lice, which I don't mind. I've ate a couple when I've got there before any creepy crawlies have eaten them for lunch. So yeah, I'm just feeding the wildlife out there. Here I'm cutting down some of the hedge which I previously cut last year, which is why it looks like a bit hacked, but I'm popping in a couple of clematis. They're winter flowering, so hopefully in like January, probably not this January coming, but next January, my hedge will be like covered in white flowers. Having hacked away the fence last autumn, this spring I've noticed so much difference in the amount of birds going in and out. You'd have thought it would be bad for them, but no, they really like the fact that it's so gappy. I'm not sure why, but we've had blackbirds, we've had great tits, we've had robins, and they've just been really enjoying hopping in and out, and I've been sat in the window watching them get on with their life. There's also been a pigeon which doesn't hop in and out of the bush because it's a bit fat, but yeah, I've just been really, really enjoying my garden, my front garden this spring. With such amazing weather, we went for loads and loads of lovely walks. Beach, woods, fields, all sorts. This woods isn't very far from where I live and had some really beautiful bluebells. Come and don't take Mum's legs out. Dog with a big stick. Fast forward a couple of weeks, and as you can see, the planter is absolutely thriving. I've got some amazing radishes. These tasted absolutely just like real radishes, really. When you buy them in the shops, they don't have such a peppery taste. And these are also multicoloured, so you can see there's some red ones, and that one's yellow, and I think there was one that was sort of like, or two that were sort of like whiter. So yeah, they were absolutely delicious. We ate them all up with all the salads that we've been having. Me and my family have had such a beautiful spring. We've spent time together, we've ate food outside, I've spent time in the garden, we've been on walks, and I hope that you really, really enjoyed the wonderful weather that we've had. The only thing is that when we had a barbecue, when I lit the fire, I completely forgot about the marshmallows. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Look at that sunset. Bye.